Hey everyone, welcome to Guys Got a Gotti, the all-in-one show with your three guys who love to talk about Gotti and Travolta and everything in the film and everything it celebrates. My name is Joe. I'm here with my co-hosts today, Austin
How's it going, guys?
and Dennis.
Hey, I'm doing well, Joe.
You're doing good. Good, me too. I'm hanging in there. Hope everyone out there in podcast world and Gotti world is doing great. You probably are. It's summertime. And we've all had a chance to sort of enjoy the warm weather and have some time off and get things done.
If
You
you've
know,
if you've seen Gotti recently, you probably are having a good time.
you got to keep it in the bloodstream. It's like like an opium addiction or something. It keeps get a little boost of Gotti every couple weeks or every day or every couple hours, and you're good.
Yeah,
Um,
something for every season is in there.
Absolutely, it covers. There's a scene. There's Christmas. There's Halloween, and of course, as we'll talk about later, and you could kind of see with Austin's background here, very celebratory. There's 4th of July.
Yeah,
Um,
I think Gotti might like Fourth of July actually.
Actually, having seen the film a couple times, I think it's kind of important to his entire life and everything about him and everything that he stands for. So, but that being said, we've all had an interesting summer, and I think we all have a little story. We're gonna do a little summer vacation roundup today's episode. Um, Dennis is he's looking tan and looking good, and he's been down under. Isn't that
Man,
right,
I
Dan?
I've been just got back from the land down under. If you'll recall, I was doing a little bit of internet sleuthing, and I went to Australia to try to find out more about this guy, Joey Gelato. Now, I did have to spend some time in quarantine there, and that was fine. It was really fun. And my cats were really getting antsy though. So the minute that they could
You
get,
took your cats?
oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to sound rude, but I don't trust pet sitters. Like, get your own pet. You know what I mean? Like, what are you trying to do? I think it's creepy. But anyway, so they were just like dying to get outside. So as soon as quarantine was lifted, they bolted. And that's fine. Like they can get out and play around a little bit. And luckily they're microchipped. So the first couple days really was like a thing where in the morning I'd let them out and then it would take most of the day. You know, I've never been to Australia before. So I mean it would take most of the day into the evening for me to find them. And that was fine. I would have a little adventure myself, you know. And so finally, I realized, hey, you know what? These guys are going to have to just stay indoors while I go check out this gelato guy. So I will just say this: they take their gelato there pretty seriously. Um, Long story short, my interaction with him did not go well. Uh, I had to cut my trip a little bit short, a little shorter than I would have liked to, you know, have had it, and get out of Australia. Thankfully, our lawyers were able to, you know, facilitate my leaving pretty quickly. Um, as a part of an agreement that was made, I'm not allowed to do any internet sleuthing anymore for several years. I'm not sure who keeps tabs on that or how they would, but you know that's the case. Um, then I will say that uh, even with all that happening, it was still really a blast. And if you get a chance to go to the land down under, you should. And I'll tell you one thing, you know, sometimes people, you go on vacation and you come back with a little a bug or like a little virus or something, and I got the sickness. And it's for this stuff. Have you ever seen this before? I didn't even know you could get this in the States. This stuff is great, and I was down in it. Boy, you get some of this right here.
That looks great.
Oh, that's good, man. They got it everywhere down there, and
And
turns out you can get it here too.
What is that, oil?
No, it's a beer. It's an
but it's like,
Australian beer.
is that like a hand? What do they call that? Like a hand barrel?
I don't know, man. Lager, Australia famous beer,
Oh, I've heard of lager. Okay.
Yeah,
but
I
it's
think it's
really
kind of
good.
beer.
And I think this is just kind of like how they do it there.
So when
Man,
you met,
that's pretty crazy looking.
so your cat. I remember your cat Rolo had a real taste for some rare birds too, and I know Australia has like a really strict, you know, flora and fauna kind of like ice like laws there. That
Sure.
is that a problem at all, or do you
I
just?
mean,
You
honestly,
said you
that's
brought
the
him back inside though, so
yeah.
that's probably fine, right?
So that's the first I'm hearing about whatever kind of rules they may have regarding animals and whatnot. Again, we did do the quarantine, I mean, and we did it for as long as we were supposed to. And
Well,
honestly, since I've come back, uh, I really liked that. I kind of liked it, and since I've been back, I've been doing a little bit of quarantining here at home.
yeah,
Uh,
me and Austin had like a nice stern talk with your quarantine officer, and he you know, Brad, and he seems okay, but um,
You made it pretty clear. I mean, you're not, it's not like by choice.
It, you know what? I mean, I've got to quarantine here at home for 160 days, and then all of this Australia business should pretty much be behind me. All the bad business. Now, all the good Australia business, we can have that going on 24/7, baby. Or
Well, I guess it's good that you kind of um know quarantining at this point and kind of enjoy it. So
yeah,
that's kind of like
hopefully
a
it goes by a
vacation.
little quick.
yeah,
You get
definitely.
little vacation from like society, and you know,
Call and check in with Brad a couple times a day, and don't stray too far from the house, and it should be good.
that's good. That's a pretty good summer. I'm
Yeah,
glad.
definitely.
I'm glad you got to get out of town and kind of shake a leg and get you got to at least confront Joey Gelato.
Yeah, and
So
so I mean, as far as whether or not he is related to John Gotti, I will say the jury is still out.
mhm.
Maybe next summer maybe a follow-up trip are you thinking?
I doubt that. I very much think that I will not be welcome back there.
Oh, that's sad to hear. Um, yeah, we don't like to leave any open books on stuff like that, which kind of rolls into what I've been doing this summer. I've been kind of doing a little summer reading program. Some of the people we've met at the Piggly Wiggly midnight screenings, we've kind of officially got that going. Weekly Gotti screenings every midnight, Thursday night.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, we've got a few regulars that come out to that. Um, Thankfully, it was not officially sanctioned with Piggly Wiggly, but they seem to either be home by then or too tired to really do much about it. So that it's been going pretty well. But we started a little reading program, just to reading's good for you, I guess. Yeah, we've been going through the Dune books, because that's been a little bit of a hot topic. Um, and there's a lot of stuff in there. It's kind of crazy. It's crazy that they're putting it up on the screens for everybody to see. Um, I know you guys have been reading along with us too, and it some of it makes me sick. All the snake, those big snakes that um crawl around everywhere. It
Yeah,
take takes place in Egypt, I think.
yeah. the snakes are weird, and I mean, I only know sort of what I know about Egypt from reading Dune, but so I don't know if that's like true to life. But it is very scary to read about.
It's very scary and it kind of spits in the face of everything we know. Um, so yeah, that it's just very twisted. Um, it kind of makes you kind of question who when you go out in public, who all those people are. You like any of these guys could be writing Dune right now.
Yeah, that's
I
scary.
don't I don't look at yeah, it's had an effect on the way I interact with people for sure. And then you get, you suggested Dune, and I remember it being in the cinema the last couple of years. And I'm like, oh, okay, Dune. I'd saying, it's gonna be an ancient Egypt mummy adventure. Uh, and right away, there's a uh like a there's some sort of witches. I think there's a witch. There's witches in it, and like you said, those the big sandworms, and uh they really make me uncomfortable to read about and think about. And the
Yeah,
the metaphors really kind of just really kind of sink my psyche.
Now,
you said worms, but
so
I thought it was snakes.
right, but so for the movie, they change it into a worm, which they do,
Ah, that's
and
right.
they do
Yeah.
this kind of thing all the time. Uh, they don't even really call them Egyptian dunes, like what we're used to. Uh, and really, they barely talk about them, but they call the snakes worms, which is really, I don't know, maybe I don't know what they're. I hate to gender these snakes, but that's kind of seems emasculating.
It's really upsetting.
Yeah, worm definitely not as cool as a snake. Both make me feel very uneasy. And to think that they were, um, you know, populating Egypt back in those times, and there may still be some of those around today. We don't really know what goes on below the surface. We don't have the technology or the money to really get down past like swimming pool level.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That kind of scares me, to be honest.
Well, we're not going to go there chasing down any leads anytime soon.
Yeah,
I'm not.
thankfully down under just means uh over there and not
Yeah,
actually
they
down
don't
Oh
have
under.
my
any.
gosh.
There's no deserts, right? So in Australia, thank God. Otherwise, that would be. Uh, get back on the plane
Yeah.
after the quarantine officer.
How's your summer been, Joe?
Oh, it's been okay. I've spent some time doing my own sort of walkabout. I've just you know, kind of been just really trying to I what we said, we've been part of the summer reading program, and we're doing the Piggly Wiggly meet-alongs. And what I like about those is when we start the film, we have about, there's the three of us, maybe a couple other people. And then these people, sort of like people of the night, kind of just like appear. Like you'll turn around and there'll be like eight or nine other people, and you don't know how they got there. Um, and after we give them some sustenance and sort of entertain their what they have to say to us, I feel like I learned something too, and it's just been good to be out there with the people. So yeah,
It,
I
pretty sedentary.
I drove by last Thursday. I was driving by Piggly Wiggly, and I saw some of the people that were there for the movie that night. They were hanging out in the parking lot already. This was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and they were hanging out in the parking lot, and they had looked like they had already like been shopping, and so that was really exciting. So I think it's something that the community is getting behind in a big way.
it really is beautiful to see um the community that we've kind of cultivated see them so excited. They really enjoy the um the little deli platters that that we actually do have the guy that works in the butcher department. He brings out a little snack deli tray. They really love that.
It's a
Um,
nice time.
yeah, it's been great.
Yeah.
Well, it's very good. I mean, the movie has a great message, and it's good to get it out to the people. And so far, I mean, there's the regulars, there's the people that kind of show up out of nowhere, and I think word of mouth is going to spread, and pretty soon, we might even be able to move it indoors somewhere. So, fingers crossed.
Oh yeah, that'll be great. I love being indoors when I can.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So this is a pretty big year we've got coming up on us. Later in the year, there's going to be a big vote that it's kind of got the nation all riled up. And
Your
we've been getting
background, your background really kind of says it. Sorry to interrupt.
yeah that kind of a good just a good reminder of what this country really is. But we've kind of been getting the word out and going door to door to kind of get our message across to our neighbors and um, people in our communities. But this is a pretty big year. Kind of scary a little bit. But yeah.
It's almost hard to follow, and every almost like every week when you see the news and you see the new things that are there, and you get worried, right? Like, oh, you know, now we have this to contend with, and when we're trying to, get our deal, our priorities to the forefront of this
Yeah,
whole mess. And you see all these record-breaking sort of huge deal things in the news and in our media.
everybody is, getting riled up, and I think it's a lot of it has to do with they're just kind of sick of seeing the same stuff over and over again, and they're sick of hearing from the same guys over and over again, and they're ready, for something new. And in this case, you know, what we're trying to do is give them something new, not in the sense of something they've never seen before, but we want something new to happen. And what we want to do is we want to knock down, we want to make a case against the old guard, the same old guys that you've been hearing from for years, and we want Gotti back into Oscar contention. I mean, you're we've already seen Scorsese, and we've already heard from Spielberg, and we already know what those guys have to offer, and they're not offering us anything new. We need to go with the youth, and that's the guy from Entourage that directed Gotti.
And if you connect the dots, um, which we've done this, you will see that number one contention uh for the Oscars is Dune 2. And we don't want that to happen. That's not an America we want. We are going door to door campaigning. We are saying do not do not even watch Dune 2. Do not vote for it. This is a democratic country, so we all have a say in what goes into the Oscars. Um,
I, there's no rule that it has to be from a certain year. You know, I think it's as long as it hasn't ever been nominated before, they could still get in.
and yeah, and that's our other main talking point is please do vote for Gotti. It does deserve the nomination and the win, in my opinion. I'm not sure exactly what y'all think. I think you probably agree, but I don't want to speak for you. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
we're trying to get that message out.
I just thought of a really good joke, guys. Uh, I mean, uh, Timothy Chalamet in Gotti. Can you imagine?
That is a pretty good joke.
He would punch him right in the face right away.
I don't even know. Who would he
He probably,
be?
I don't know. Just like it, you made it like like Junior's Junior's little one of his friends, that stabs someone or like kicks some guy to death in a pool hall. No,
Oh my gosh.
and
Yeah,
he's
that
out
would be
there
hilarious.
and he everyone's giving him like throwing laurels and at his feet for second Dune Part 2, and he's just whatever. It's just a sand penis movie,
Yeah, it's
really.
gross. It is, these guys go around dressed like in their witchcraft get-ups, and they are doing these chants. They yeah, I mean they fight for their town or whatever, but there doesn't seem to be any like thing behind it. It just seems to be to glorify violence, really.
Yeah, if you watch Dune 2, you'll see that the guy he goes around, he rallies his neighborhood. They do not do 4th of July, and a lot of people die,
Yeah.
and
They don't even do
that
like a
makes me
space.
sick.
Just don't even do like a space, like a space 4th of July or something. They can call it, I don't know,
Yeah, they don't.
whatever,
Yeah,
Worm Day or Snake
they
Day
don't
or
have a like a science fictiony fake name for it. Like Independence. Whatever. That's
yeah.
kind
What
of.
I bet at the end of Return of the Jedi, and you see the Ewoks dancing around in Han Solo, and you see the X-wing, the ships fly over and there's fireworks. I know what that is. It's 4th of July.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's Fourth of
Vader's
July.
dead. 4th of July. We're here. Uh, uh, uh,
I've got the text that timestamp when they were shooting that, and it coincides with 4th of July. If there's any listeners that want to read more about that, we can provide that.
So
yeah,
when
we
they
have.
were making Return of the Jedi.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh man, that is awesome. That
Yeah, we have all sorts of little facts like this that we don't even bring up sometimes. And like because we're still we're only a few episodes in, we can't get all this in every single one, but yeah. Yeah, Return of the Jedi when they were filming it. Yeah, that was done on the 4th of July, and that's, another Gotti connection, and we're, well, the book will be out eventually.
well, that's awesome. I mean, I never. I always figured. I guess everybody like legally had to do a holiday or whatever. But if you're working on the 4th of July and it's in a way that is celebrating the 4th of July even more, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, and it helps you understand where you stand with a movie and like what time of year it is sometimes. And it's important for storytelling.
Yeah, and if it also lets you relate to the characters, so you're thinking, okay, yeah, they probably around 11:30, maybe even one in the afternoon. They had a couple hot dogs, maybe some brats, maybe like a macaroni and cheese or macaroni salad, barbecue chips,
Get a big jug
uh,
of ketchup.
yeah, some ketchup and mustard on that. Maybe like a beer, or just a Coke if they're not. Yeah, maybe what
I mean,
Dennis has got.
probably an American beer, but just
Yeah,
pretend
and
this is a big American beer.
or in Star Wars, it was probably something the Wookiees made. Um, and
Wookiee salad.
if you don't drink beer, that's cool. There's water. Don't worry about it.
I will
Um,
say, I always really like. I would watch, the Star Wars movies, and was always really confused about like which side was supposed to be America. But that really, yeah, I mean, that really just ties it all up for me, knowing about this.
And you know what I just really like about Star Wars is throughout all of them, there are no like evil snakes that can eat you. You don't see that in any of them.
Yeah, I will tell you the only redeeming part about the Dune 2 was they finally, and this is another thing I've always like kind of struggled with, was they finally laid it out about the color scheme. So they were like, "You see that sand snake?" And they're like, "Yeah," and it goes, "It's red and black, and that'll kill you, Jack." And they were like, "You see that sand snake?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "That's red and yellow. That's a friendly fella." I was like, "Oh, that's." I was like, I always wonder, is it friend to Jack? Is it kill you, fella? But now I know, and I must. I can use this information in my day to day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is some of the real world knowledge that it gives, and that is pretty helpful.
Other than
Yeah,
that, that movie's trash. Please do not vote for it for Oscars. And honestly, if you haven't seen it, don't waste your time. I've already told you the best part about it.
and just to circle it back to summer, and I just want to get out real quick before I forget. You guys know uh that giant lime truck that I had I was like, cruising around in that was
Yeah.
stolen
Are you kidding me?
right at the end of June. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't it's been gone. I don't know what happened to it. It was like the pride of my life, and I I I just if anyone's seen a giant lime sort of like almost neon truck that you can't it's blisteringly painted, and it was just the reason I lived and the reason I got up in the morning, and it's gone and no one's been able to find it.
Well, that's
um
terrible news.
I just wanted to get that out real quick. uh Sorry, I didn't mean to derail our uh Dune uh Gotti discussion.
I'm so sorry to hear about that. And I will definitely, I mean, I'll be within the radius that I can be in, keeping an eye out.
It's hard to miss. So
Yeah, I'll be looking for it, Joe. That's tragic. I know how much you love that thing, how much it meant to you. Um,
I felt like I was living in a juicy fruit commercial. No, no.
so well, yeah, I'll definitely be looking for it, and if I see it, I don't really know what I'll do because honestly, people that drive trucks like that kind of scare me a little bit, so I'm a little afraid to
Yeah,
uh go talk to them. But maybe I don't know, maybe give you a call, see what you want to do.
think
Yeah,
about
I
how
think.
tough the kind of guy who could steal one must be.
Yeah, I know. I think about how just unapologetically masculine and tough I tend to be, and you could just
Sure.
just imagine that times 10, I guess. Um, but yeah. So um, anyway, yeah, it's gonna be a busy November for us. Getting the word out there to get Gotti back on the ballot. Show people that there's a third way that doesn't involve any kind of worms, whether it's in your brain or not,
Yeah.
or snakes, brain snakes, or I know I keep calling them worms. I just like saying, uh, it's my own interpretation of things, I suppose.
Sure. Now, let's say, I mean, we know what happens at the end of Gotti. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty cut and dry. So we know there wouldn't ever really be a sequel. Or I mean, I wouldn't want to see a sequel because who are they going to follow? It's not going to be John Gotti. But what would we want to see? Would we want to see a prequel? Would we want to see a prestige television show? What's your wish for the next step in the sort of Gotti franchise?
I really want to see. I want to go back to his high school days, maybe even before high school, and he's out at recess making deals, um, getting kids to give him his lunch money for protection, kind of setting the tone for what he would do later on in his life. Really helping out his community, protecting everybody. Yeah, I think it'd be really cool to see him like interact with his other fellow classmates and like all the kind of intrigue you see, like the kids that kind of have crushes on each other, and they're kind of like maybe maybe the two that like each other, one of them talks to another girl or a guy, and they kind of have a little squabble, and then Gotti's there to kind of like figure things out for these kids, give them a path, and also like uh, uh, build his empire in the process.
He could work at a fireworks stand.
That's a good idea.
Oh yeah, I always thought it'd be fun to have a like an animated sort of comedy show where he's like maybe like 7 or 8, you know, and he's at home and it's all, all the characters are all, it's all younger version of the characters we lo already love from the film. Uh, but they're little kids and they get up, they get into some crazy things, and maybe there's like a janitor who they like kick down the stairs or something, and something like that. And I just thought it'd be kind of funny to show like kind of like he is really funny and has really good comedy timing in the film, and I'm sure he did in real life as well. But like it'd be funny to see more of like a little stinker kind of Gotti.
And then I always love in those where you have like the kooky grandparent, like the grandmother.
Oh yeah,
She's not doing age appropriate things. You know what I mean?
for sure. Yeah, like really. Like, oh God, can you imagine like just all the different like hijinks they could like run a car through the front of like a currency exchange or something that they steal, and like they get away, and a little stinker Gotti, and that'd be really funny. I don't
Oh
know.
man,
That's just something I think about before I go to bed at night.
that's a hilarious idea. Oh my god. Well, fingers crossed. We make all these things happen.
Yeah, we keep making the pitches, and writing the scripts.
So,
How about you, Dan? Did you have
yeah,
a did you have a version you wanted to see? Sorry.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, I don't think I can top what you guys are coming up with. I mean,
you got the time though. I mean, you're gonna be sitting around for a while. You can probably come
that's
up with
true.
something.
I mean, I do like the idea of a prequel. I mean, we see John Travolta in the news all the time. He's not aging. You know what I mean? He looks just as young. I mean, honestly, he looks like he could go back and put on the T-Birds jacket if he wanted to. You know,
I think that is due to the role of Gotti. I think you put on that persona, and I think it changes something in you, and you can kind of maintain where you are and keep going, and it kind of gives you a new life, and people from then on kind of see you as before that role and after. And people nowadays, people aren't talking too much about the before. So I think that's testament to the role.
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, we know him as the the big svelte crime boss with the cool suits and the chain, and he's made of Teflon and everything. But what was he? Really, he was riding bikes around the neighborhood and that kind of thing. And it takes he's a complex man, and he's had a full a lot of things that have shaped him.
Awesome.
I'm sure he was a little stinker.
So, I for the next midnight showing, uh, are you guys? Is it okay? Is it affecting your data rates or anything that we're FaceTiming the whole time? Or
My bill has gone up a lot, but it's just part of the cost of doing business.
all right, well, I
Yeah,
apologize.
it's just a fun tax for me.
Yeah.
I like it. It's fun, but like you know, I could see it being a problem. But I just like
The
doing it. I know
Yeah.
we're all there already, but makes it feel more, special.
Check with some of the regulars. I know Rita is usually there. I think she has like a track phone. Because honestly, if I would just even be on the audio, that would work for me.
Well,
Yeah.
Dennis, I mean, you live right behind the Piggly Wiggly. I think you could probably come out and still be all right.
I'll check with Brad. I'm supposed to call him when we're done here. So
Rita's tough to hold down too. I never see her arrive and I never see her depart in a strange way. I don't know. Yeah. We'll figure something out. We'll patch over some Wi-Fi over there, or I'll get my hotspot. I can maybe extend my hotspot. I can talk. I'll call AT. I'll call AT&T and see what they can do.
that is not okay. I thought that was like a. I'm. I don't want to embarrass you. I thought that was like some like a hair. Like there was something wrong with your hair. You kept talking about hotspot.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, I was able to get a prescription ointment for that, and so
Okay.
I was able to take care of that.
This is like an internet thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's right. Yeah, it was an internet thing. It
Well,
was. That's not a lie.
okay. Well, all right. Hey, well, we'll just keep on keeping on. Hopefully, maybe I can work a deal out with Brad and get out of quarantine pretty soon. And I will hopefully be able to attend the next midnight screening in person. Keep watching the movie, keep sending in those. We need to get an address probably for where you send your write-ins to the Oscar people. And we can maybe post that in the show notes or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
we
get
we
the
haven't quite figured out who we have to send all this stuff to yet.
Yeah. Make a
yeah, and
comment on YouTube and we can convert that to like a PDF document.
we'll get that up on the website, and we'll make sure everyone can has access to that and can knows who to contact these people and like maybe where they can their home addresses are.
Yeah. All
And
right.
make their lives a little uncomfortable, because that's how change happens.
Sure, that's right.
Put them on the hot spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
That's right. We'll be the ointment, the dexamethasone hydrochloride paste.
Interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up this episode. We thank you so much for joining us, and we do hope you write in to the Oscar guys, and we hope you get the word out about Dune 2 and Gotti. That's the important part, both. But
Fine.
thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you. Find my truck.